Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening from all directions of Uganda, Africa, world at large. Thank you for choosing to learn with us at Linkspace Career Academy. It's a beautiful Friday evening. All is well, and we believe a lot better is going to happen tonight. I'm encouraging you to call on a friend, invite someone, share the link with as many in all your circles. Good evening, friends. Friends of Linkspace Career Academy, I believe strongly that all is well with you. You have your notebooks at hand, a very, very good pen at hand. I believe you have shared the link with as many people as possible. Before we start, I'll ask you to humble yourselves for prayer. We want to dedicate this session in the hands of God. We want God to take charge completely. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you so much for the wonderful environment. Thank you so much for the wonderful class online at Linkspace Career Academy. Thank you for the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, the inspirations that you are sharing with us through your servant tonight. Lord, we pray that he speaks your word. We pray that as he speaks, we are able to pick out great insights that can help us move ahead to live a better life. Lord of glory, we are learning more under the step-by-step healing process after losing a parent. And we believe, Lord, many times men grieve a lot. Men hide the grief a lot. They suffer internally while others are looking on. Many hide the suffering. But we believe strongly, Lord, that tonight you are empowering us, you are equipping us, you are teaching us the best way to handle the process of healing after losing a parent. Lord of glory, we pray for a conducive learning environment, great internet connection for us to enjoy as we learn. We pray for all our friends that are going to be on and all those that will listen in later under this very, very session. We pray and believe in the precious name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Friends, my name once again is Nakauma Christine, and I'm your moderator. But before we start, allow me share a little about Linkspace Career Academy. It is a space with a mission of empowering, equipping, and teaching the young people and all individuals on how to identify their purpose early, identify their best fit career, and to know how to manage their lives to live a meaningful life and lifestyle. Linkspace Career Academy does all its work both online and physical. We do our online sessions 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, under 5 different education dimensions, which include personal development on Mondays, finance education on Wednesdays, and on Fridays we normally have health, leisure, and relationship management, including the mental health. Friends of Linkspace Career Academy, I want to remind you that we have many programs, including physical sessions, that is, workshops, seminars, symposiums, the hands-on career guidance, workshops that take place in schools, colleges, and institutions, helping out the young people there to manage themselves better, to identify who they are, to help them nurture their careers to live a better life. Linkspace Career Academy also holds masterclasses in public speaking, entrepreneurship, and relationship management. We also have other programs, supportive programs, including the Linkspace Quick Fees, which supports the parents and guardians to keep their children in school uninterrupted by school fees. This program is a very great one that makes sure that all the stakeholders are served equitably. We are proud and happy about it because it sees the young people achieve their goal of education just in time. Friends of Linkspace Career Academy, I don't want to waste any more minutes. Tonight we are looking at a very key topic. We are looking at the second season of our beautiful A Master 10 topic, step-by-step healing process after losing a parent, the man's grief, RoadMap, season 2. Let me tell you, you cannot lead your family from a place of unprocessed pain. You just have to fix that before you proceed. We all know it that men are the heads of the family. But just imagine the head of the family has lost a parent, all his parents, and is grieving. And now we are asking ourselves, who is there to support? This is the head, and he's hurting, he's grieving. The children are all over, the wife is all over, the in-laws are all over. Who is there to support? Tonight we are learning on the best way to fix all the challenges, to make it right, for the head to get back to the normal and lead the family. And I don't want to waste any other minute. Allow me invite our facilitator, who is very, very passionate about supporting the boy child and the men to see them achieve their main goal and purpose for life, to see them thrive in life, to see them take on their roles right. He is the CEO of the Care Health Services, the #1 non-medical healthcare service providing company in Uganda. We are proud of him because we've seen his work, his service touch many, transform many people's lives. He heads a lot. His profile is big. His profile is beautiful. He can say more about himself, but what I know, you just want to keep listening to his conversations because they are very, very educative, transformative, and a must listen to. Friends, together let us welcome Coach Edward Katelega to let us know what he has for us tonight under this very topic, step-by-step healing process after losing a parent, especially the men, how they handle their grief, how they maneuver through the grief roadmap. And we are looking at the season 2. Coach Eddie, you're welcome. Please take it on. Thank you.
Good evening, Linkspace Academy. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes, you are.
Yes, today, season 2. I'm glad that everybody has taken time to come back for season 2. Season 1 was hot. For those who haven't listened to it, you need to go back and find it. I hope season 2 I'll be able to share more nuggets. Today we're going to talk about something deep and personal. Losing a parent changes you, but make sure it doesn't break you. I have worked with families, men, through grief, and I have wrestled with this loss myself. But what I have learned is this. Grief doesn't have to shrink us. Yeah. It can actually sharpen who we become if we face it with courage, with honesty, and the right kind of support. So join me this evening as we try and unpack this together. I'm looking forward to sharing and learning together. Back to you, Christine.
Thank you so much, Coach Eddie. We are looking forward to a lot. But I want to remind our listeners, this is our conversation. This is our room. This is our space to share, interact, and learn together. So then, let your notebook have work to do and your pen tonight. Just in case you have a question, you may not be a man, you may be a woman, but you have questions that you really want to be answered so that you can help out somebody or even yourself. If your man is still grieving or hurting and you're confused of what to do, this is the space and the time for us to learn more. So do not hesitate to ask for the microphone or even share in the chat so that the expert is able to answer you. Let us keep the conversation running as we learn together. Yes, Coach Eddie, I have several questions for you tonight. And I'll start with one of requesting you to share with us at least a practical ritual that has helped you process anger or regret one step at a time, given the fact that you've experienced it all through after losing both of your parents. So please, kindly share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. This is a powerful, loaded question, but as we said, this is deeply personal. And I'm going to try and share what I practically used to go through this system. Yes, I used journaling and exercise and trying to exercise, but it didn't work for me as much in the beginning. So what I resorted to was one, having deep talks with my God, yeah, like a friend. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is try and sit in the sitting room when people are still awake, are still asleep. The whole house is still asleep, and I try to bring my issues to Him. And one of them, of course, is healing from grief. We talk like friends, the day, how I'm feeling that morning. Because grief is something that walks in and walks out, and when it comes, you have to just let it go through you. If you hold it back, then it turns into something you don't want to. So one of them I do is I talk to God like a friend. I also listen to healing gospel songs. There's one that now is hitting called It Is Well by Victor. I've just put it in the chat, in the comments, if you listen to it. If you listen to that song, it doesn't matter how you feel that day, but there is a way when he sings It Is Well, you just know it is really well. And you know you can face whatever is put in front of you that day. So processing anger by voicing my regrets to God has really helped me. And this was inspired, of course, when I was in hospital with my parents, taking care of them, where you learn to let go. And I learned to cry to God and say, well, the doctors have said this, we have done this, what else can we do? Everything is in your hands. Both my parents, during these hospital visits and taking care of them, yeah, have been, well, it taught me a lot of what it means to surrender to the power of God. So deeply, deeply practical rituals is one of them. I just have to tell you, you need to have a personal relationship with God. and learn what true surrender looks like when you talk to him. Everything you feel, you pain, everything, and you talk to this person like your friend, he can turn rage into resolve. Yeah. One breath, one step. So I urge each and everyone, if you're still going through this period, call upon God. He always answers. He always does the healing. Us as human beings, we can't. We need someone to help us. Thank you so much, Christine. Christine, are you there?
Sorry. I've been talking to myself. Can you imagine? My microphone has been muted. Sorry about that. I was saying that thank you so much for the great insight about your powerful rituals. And I was saying that, yes, many have been advised to use the journaling ritual, and sometimes it fails to work. And you keep asking yourself, what else can I do? But you're telling us tonight that one biggest secret is in your deep connection with your God, with your source. Learning to have a talk with your God every day. And there is that special bit that you've mentioned that I like and I believe in strongly. In the morning, the wee hours of the morning, when other people are still sleeping, especially 3 a.m., 4 a.m., that time is a game changer, coach. It is a game changer. I've experienced it as well. It is a time when you can really relate right with your God. You can really experience that moment of him talking back to you that time. People, it works. Try it out. Speaking to God opens many, many healing doors for you. And I love the way you've mentioned it and how you've elaborated about it. Thank you so much, Coach. And I still have, and I want to know, because being a head of the family and being a man, basically, there is that legacy you're trying to build as you serve for the legacy of the parents. So then, I want to know, how do you honor your parents' legacy while building your own legacy, especially as a husband and probably
Christine, we can't hear you.
oh my goodness. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
What
can.
could be the problem?
We can, but you start and then you cut off, so I didn't hear the full question. Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, my question is, how do you honor your parents' legacy while building your own legacy, especially as a husband and probably as a leader of the community? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. This is a very nice question. How do I honor my parents' legacy while building my own? My parents, I was very lucky, were showers. And being one of the last children or last born kids, I saw this in action. I saw how they related with the community, the church. I saw how they related with people who used to come walking from the streets, or they need help or just want to get something from our garden, and they used to I used to see the way they treat them, how kind they were to them, how they treated everybody the same, irrespective of how many books they have or how many less books they didn't have. And they showed me this. So their God-fearing, unconditional love and treatment of whoever they met was very evident, and I still apply that in my own marriage and community. The other thing about church is I'm now also as a husband, I joined the Fathers Union as a leader, and I'm trying to also do what my father did because he was also a Fathers Union member. So I'm now the vice chairman, and so I'm trying to put everything I saw him to. When it's time to contribute, again, you don't hold your hands, you take part. When it's time to do a community event, I am there. But it's because I grew up seeing this. So that is how I try to honor them. But also in starting this company, KRL, it was because after I lost them, I got so many questions and people wanted to know, how did I do it? And remember, I was still in deep grieving, but people don't care because now their problem is urgent. So after some time, I thought to myself, why shouldn't I start a company and help these people? Instead of just being my pain and just wallow there, I can turn this round. So I started this Care Earth company, and in that I started in honor with my father and dad, because I looked after both of them till they went to be with the Lord. And that by looking after them, I mean hands-on. I had other family members who were doing the money, but the hands-on was me. I was there 24/7. And so that is how Carol Services was born, in honor of my mom and dad. Thank you so much, Christine. Hope I've tried to answer the question.
That is great. Before even I comment on what you've just shared, as somebody, one of us has shared a very beautiful comment. That is the Afrenewa's mentorship listener. He says, when I lost my father, I joined journalism to keep writing and express myself. And indeed, this is a very good comment. The added point of writing, keep writing and expressing myself, is the point where some people get lost from. Many think or they imagine that it's just a matter of writing. But journaling is more than writing just. Journaling is another form of communicating on paper with your God. Because as you write, inside information is flowing from you with the support of your infinite intelligence connecting to your God. So you keep getting the answers, you keep interacting with your God, and before you know it, things work out. So I appreciate your comment, Afrenewa listener. Thank you so much. It's a big one that people must pay attention to. If you don't know how to journal, at least reach out and be supported, because it is magical. It works. It's another ritual that is very key and important. Thank you so much. And now Coach Eddie tells us that actually the point I want to emphasize on what he has just mentioned is about how he started Care Health Company. In the process of healing, that's a big point, meaning that he did not remain idle. He thought deeper. He became very creative and said, let me turn my grief into an activity that supports others. My God, it's a great one. Coach Eddie, that is a great one. Many times people grieve and it is forever. They even cease to think. And as you are starting, you said, don't break. You can even be refined and made better. So you are made better. The pain of purpose. I just love that. Meaning that you can honor your parents' legacy while building your own legacy. Yes, they have gone. So what next? You have to focus and concentrate on your legacy. How do you go about that? Yours may not be care health, but there is something that your parents used to do that you can make further. You can do further or even better. That instead of grieving forever, you just make use of what they left behind to celebrate them. In fact, to me, Coach Eddie, I'm like, can we learn to celebrate our parents' lives than to mourn them? Because there are many things that they did good. So by you focusing on the good in them, you begin celebrating them. Yes, you're going to miss them, but life has to go on, and you must. Yes, Coach Eddie has something to say. You must take it further than just grieving. So Coach Eddie, please take it on.
I just wanted to add on just a little what you're saying, that yes, celebrating is there, but again, at what stage of grief are you at? Because when you say that to someone who's just lost someone, again, you have to be kind of gentle how you say that. They might not understand you and turn into anger. So we need to be wise at what stage we introduce that celebrate. Because you can't tell me someone has just passed on that I love with all my heart, or someone who passed on and this was someone I was scared of something would happen to me if they pass on, and then you're telling me to celebrate them. So just at what stage do you bring that in? I just wanted to caution us there. In counseling, you don't say celebrate at the beginning, although people tend to use it. Yeah, thank you, Christine.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, Coach Eddie says you have to be mindful at what stage. But I think, yeah, you're very right. And my point is to emphasize the point that don't stay in grief forever. At some point along the way, focus more on the good that your parents left behind for you, on the good that they were able to do for you, and celebrate them. And before you know it, because actually I'm picking it from what you did coming up with care health. You're like, because of my parents, let me start the company that will serve many forever. That is celebrating your parents. It was very painful, but you turned it around and came up with a very beautiful idea. So, along the way, shift your focus from the pain, from the missing of your parents, to what good they have left behind, what good they have made you into, and you see yourself getting better. Thank you so much. Yes, Coach Eddie, another question for you. Looking at the journey from denial to acceptance, which step in the grief journey hit you harder, and what Ugandan wisdom made you go through? I hope it's clear.
Yes, Christine, that is a very, very clear question, but it's also a very wide one. Allow me to first go through the stages of grief, because we can't talk about them just briefly if someone is to understand my feedback. So I'm going to use there's a lady called Elizabeth Ross, classic 5 stages. Though they are not linear, people circle through them. Yeah, they skip, they revisit them uniquely, because it's unique to everybody how they grieve. Especially us men facing culture pressures to stay strong, you can jump from one to another. So allow me to take you through these 5 stages. The first one we face is denial. Yeah, when you've just got the news, you're in shock. Yeah, this shock buffers the pain. This can be real. Protects the heart initially. That is the denial stage. Then the second stage is anger. Rage erupts in you to God and the doctors. Maybe they didn't do enough. Was it fed? Reality sinks in and you're like, really? Has this happened? We know that anger and that stage is very dangerous. So that's where I was saying again, caution where you're telling people what. Because when they're at that anger stage, you can easily get a punch for yourself from someone who's just for someone. We need to be cautious. The third one is bargaining. If only I did more. If only I did more. Please seek control over this irreversible stage. This is irreversible. When someone passes on, we know that they can't come back, but it doesn't stop us from going through this bargaining stage. Maybe you want to change hospital and you're saying, I wish I did more and took them to another hospital. Maybe they'll still be alive. That's the fourth stage. Let's move on to the that's the third stage. The fourth stage is depression. You sink into this deep sadness and you withdraw from everybody because you're trying to process this thing as well yourself. You're processing the void. Yeah? I have learned in my healing journey that grief is love with nowhere to go. So the more you love this person, the more you're bound to grieve for them. And when you're still grieving, yes, you can land into this fourth stage of depression. And I can tell you, for my mom's case, I sat inside the compound for 2 months. I didn't leave. Yes, I was doing the basics, but I wasn't leaving the compound. I wasn't interested in seeing what was out there. I believe I must have been in this fourth stage of depression. Then the fifth one is acceptance. There you get some peace starts emerging. And even people tell you, oh, when we first saw you about a week ago, your face was looking so sad. You're all not looking so well. It's because you're going through grief. It's inside, and again, it shows on the outside. It's not easy. But when you get to this fifth stage of acceptance, peace slowly starts emerging. Yeah? The loss starts integrating into your life. You say, oh yeah, I lost my person. I need to get up. I need to brush my teeth. I need to help so and so. Yeah? Freeing the energy to move forward and face life. This is the fifth stage. And this model is another model where there's even another sixth and seventh stage, and maybe the seventh one was reconstruction, where you start to rebuild your routines. If this person was so much in your routine, like, you know, when I wake up, I need to call my mom or I need to call my dad or go see them. Now that person has been taken away from the routine. You need to slowly reconstruct your daily routine. And it takes you to get to the fifth stage of acceptance when you've started getting this peace emerging from you that you can slowly now try to face life. Yeah. So to answer your question, for me, what hit me most was the denial stage. The denial stage, yeah, that was the first one. That denial stage hit me the hardest. Pretending I was fine after dual losses, but one of my other favorite Bible verses got me through and still holds me and pushes me into this acceptance stage until today. Allow me to share it with you. It's in Acts 17, verse 28. I'm reading for the NIV version, for those of you who want to read through the Bible. It says, for in him we live and move and have our being. As some of you who are poets, have said, we are all his offsprings. So it's for in him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28 reveals our total dependency on God as the source and sustainer of all life. If you're a believer like me, every breath, every step, and existence flows from him. Yeah. The core meaning, if I try and break this down, is in him we live. Yeah. God's power is physical, basically. It's a physical life. In him we live. God's powers physical life. He powers our physical life. Move. He enables motion and action. Yeah. Having our being, our essence, and identity stem from him. We are not accidents on this world. because there is a verse that says he knew us from our mother's womb. So he knew that this day would come, and he knew that you're strong enough to handle it. So our essence, our identity stems from him. We're not accidents. And the second part of the question you wanted me to answer is, what Ugandan wisdom got me through this time? Well, I'm a men's life coach, but I can say it was my mother's voice. Yeah. She always used to say to me, this wants to bring tears, allow me to go through it. I don't want to cry, but my mother's voice she used to say, be brave during these tough times. When you came down crying to her, or you're going through a challenge in life, he said, Edward, Guma, in our mother tongue. He says, Guma. So when such deep sadness, such challenges come, she was a very brave lady, and she used to tell, be strong. So this Ugandan wisdom from my mom kept me through, and till today, when I face any challenge, I still hear her voice telling me, be strong, don't stop, be brave. We shall get through it. Thank you, Christine, and I think I've answered you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Coach. It's a good one. It's a good one. Now, this again takes me back to the question in the chat. I know you have some bit of moment there. I know what it means, but yes, you can always manage it. But we have this other question from one of the audience. It is coming from Mary J, and she says, thanks, Coach. Last time you said that you journaled after the loss of your dear parents. How did you handle the anxiety during that period of waiting for the answer? Actually, it resonates with what you've just shared, that when situations get tougher, your mother's voice keeps echoing in your mind, and she's now saying, be strong, be strong, be strong. But now, during that time of journaling is where Mary J is asking or wondering how you really handled the anxiety during that period of waiting, that anxiety that comes, it really takes over, and you're waiting for answers. You don't see the answers. To you, the expert, how did you handle? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. I would like to know, waiting for the healing. I'm not so clear. What is she talking about waiting? If she could clarify on that.
Waiting for the healing, definitely. You're journaling with anticipation that after maybe this journal, after my journaling activity now, after me finishing this journaling, I'll be better. You journal and wait on nothing. You continue nothing. That anxiety, because you're expecting something to change, for you to heal, and you're not getting it the way you expected it. So how did you handle? Because we believe it wasn't instant that you journal and you're now better. No, it didn't happen that way, because you're also a human being like any other. How did you handle? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary J. Let me try and answer that. I should also tell you that the person who buys me my journals is my wife. So she knows I was interested in journaling before even I lost my parents. So on Christmas or any other day, by birthday, she normally buys me a journal. She always buys me gifts I need, not what I want. So she normally gets me a journal. So in this journal, you should know that sometimes the reason people journal is because they don't feel or have someone immediately to speak to in that minute who will really hold space and understand. And some things are too deep even for you to say. to anyone at that time because you're still processing it in your head. But like they say, once you start writing these things from your head, it's like you're emptying your head. And whenever you empty it, that's another healing process. The more you write and empty out, you know that thought will not come back as deeply as it was the first time. So you just have to keep doing it. Afreniwa said it very well, that he had to write a book when he lost his father. So writing that book, let me tell you, he must have got into a zone and these ideas were pouring and he used to feel better after writing that chapter. And I believe by the next day you feel better. It's the same with journaling. The anxiety is there. Sometimes you even write 2 sentences and just cover. Then other times you write like 4 chapters or 4 pages, you feel them. So journaling, the way you handle that anxiety is you just need to keep writing. When the urge comes and you feel there's nobody to tell or you can't put the words into your mouth or your mind, you just write them down. And the more you keep emptying your mind, there's a way, I don't know how God created that thing of journaling, but there's a way you start feeling lighter and lighter. And then you start thinking about other things. And even next time you get your journal to write, you won't write about grief. You can start writing about a business idea. And then before you know it, care health is there. And you have a business. Thank you so much. Hope I've answered Mary J. Thank you, Christine.
Yes, Mary, hope you've been answered. Actually, journaling is basically something that you need to keep doing. You don't do it that tomorrow will end, but you just keep doing it and you get to receive your answer, you achieve your goal. Yes, in every sector, every area. So then, Coach Eddie, now looking ahead, you've seen everything happening. You've seen you going through a lot, the 5 stages, you've mentioned them. So now, what is that one commitment you are making today to heal fully? Because as you are sharing, sorry to remind you, but it happened, when you are talking about Mommy's echo, Mommy's voice, you again felt it. Meaning that it is still there. Yes, it's still there at any moment. It can happen to you. So looking ahead, what is that one commitment you are making today to heal fully and mentor the next generation of men? Because I know you for one thing, men is activities, men is mentorship, it is you. So what is that one commitment? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. I don't think it's only one commitment, but we'll try and talk about a few I'm trying to do. But I can say that in even just giving me this chance to talk to you, this is healing in itself. Yeah. The more you share, the more you heal. So in doing one commitment, since I'm passionate about helping the boy child and men, I find that men will rarely open up when it gets to grief. Nobody really knows exactly how you feel. Even they tell you there's some men who just lose their parents and they don't even cry. Yeah. But holding that thing in is very dangerous. So one commitment I'm doing is I'm trying to heal men's hearts. Yeah. I'm trying to become a quiet anchor for men who need healing, who need leadership, yeah, who need discipline in different areas of their life. I'm so passionate about healing because I know if somebody hasn't healed, you're wasting your time talking to them. Because they'll still mask that part of them, and when it comes out, at whatever time it comes out, it will be not good. So in order for you to be your wellness to be complete, you need to go through that healing. So I commit myself to talking to men in my Care of Men's Circle. I have a group for men who want to join it. I've also in the Fathers Union group, people talk to me. And again, I show them because there's some men going through now, it might not be grief, but we're going through a time where the economy is not doing very well and they don't have money now. We're going to school fees and they can't open up to anybody. You see how it kills this person slowly? But if you give them an ear to talk about it and get practical solutions, and by the way, I should tell the men, sometimes keeping quiet is the worst thing you can do. Talk to another man, because whatever you're going through, the Bible says has been done, has happened already under the sun. So there is someone out there who's got your answer. But it's up to you to look for that person or to look for that human being to talk to them. Yeah, I've got another program I'm also attached to called Men of Honor. I've spoken about it here. It's a 10-week program. There I do a lot of men's life coaching and men's healing, and people come with different scenarios, and one of them is grief, definitely. So I talk to them and share my experience. And you see by the end of the talk, the men are lighter and they say, oh, it's not only me, it's also you. And it's very easy to bond with someone who has been through the same thing. And when you bond with them, you help them more. I also write a blog. If you want to read through my blog, I've got a blog. I write my different experience. And this is kind of like social therapy approach, where you read and talk about these things. And that is all a form of trying to heal. Yes, losing a parent because they don't come back, and it's the deepest wound. And some of us, it's one of our deepest fears. But when it happens, you really become a completely different person. It unlocks a different power, yeah, post-loss in you. But you have to heal and be on this healing journey if you're to be a good citizen, if you're to be a good father, if you're to be a good friend. And I should also speak to the friends. You need to learn how to handle your friend in this situation. I've got very good friends who I talk to in case I feel any certain way, and some have been through what I've been through, so they really understand. So we try and help each other. But one good commitment is to the boy child and men. I try to help them heal fully by leading them and by allowing them to join the different brotherhoods they feel comfortable in, to turn their pain into purpose. Because what's the point of this pain? There has to be a reason. There has to be a reason. Like we said, God knew you in your mother's womb before you were born. So he knew this day would come, but even how you're going to turn it around, he gives you the strength. So whoever is going through this, you need to be speaking to this man up there. Ask him the questions you need to. Get a commitment. Now, here you asked it's a commitment, but to me it's now like my why, my drive, yeah, for the next generation of men. They shouldn't hold it in. Thank you so much, Christine. I don't want to overtalk because time is fast spent. Thank you.
Yes, but we need the information. You don't have to really stop us from getting the information. We need it. But there is a very beautiful question to add on to that. Your points are very, very interesting, and they are real. They really transform one that is listening in. But before I bring in another question, please answer this from Afrinua listener. He's saying that how can one recover from the acts and regular doings they used to receive from the lost loved ones? How can one recover from the acts and regular doings they used to receive from the lost loved ones? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christian. Like we said, it's a very beautiful question. How can one recover? We have to go back to the 5 stages of grief. And you have to go through them. What causes a problem? This question, you haven't gone through all the 5 stages, because that's when you get to the acceptance stage, you know that this person is gone and they will not come back. So once you accept that and start getting peace, that is one way. The other way, personally, what I've done, I have friends of my father, friends of my mother that have turned into mother and father figures. I used to buy maybe meat for my mom on the weekend. I buy for them this meat and I take them, like I would to, like I was doing for my parents. Yeah. If it's their birthday, I make a fuss. Yet, with my parents' birthday, I used to make a fuss. Now they're not there, so these people who are my father figures and mother figures, whenever I say a birthday, whenever they need something, I make a fuss. and do it the way I used to do it for my parents. And personally, it gives me healing because I've got an outlet in that form. So I hope I've answered you, Mr. Fanyoshi.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And I want to, do we confirm that sometimes at funerals, some people don't cry for the one that has just passed on, they are grieving their parents that passed on earlier? Because probably that your time you are covering up, and this time maybe your friend loses a parent, and now you really pour out, you cry. Does it mean that time you're crying for your parents, not this one that has just passed on? Just a brief answer about that, Coach.
Thank you so much, Christine. I've had this question even before I lost my parents. And yes, I think even actors use it. When it comes to your other person losing, it depends how close you are with this other person, your friend's mother or father passing on. If you are close, definitely you feel the pain. But the grounding first pain you get is from remembering your parents that makes you cry. That is true. Because of that grounding pain and you pass through it, then again, of course, you feel sorry for your friend to go through this pain because you understand its depth and how much it's going to change them. Yes, it can make you cry, but the grounding thing is, yes, you're starting from your own pain and building it up to your friends. Yeah, I hope I've answered you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. And you're saying that the best way to handle, to heal from the usual acts with your lost parents is you do what you would have done for your parents to the ones that you're now putting in place, which is a beautiful one. And remember, actually, it's a very, very good act. It's a very good act. And it brings me now to this other point of you working at Care Health as providing those services that you would have provided to your parents now to other people, other parents, other people's parents. In the process, as you do this, you say you get healing, meaning that you're giving back. You're doing what you would have done to your parents. So to somebody that doesn't have a company like you are encouraging them to do what they would have done to the figures or the people they have put in place of their parents. And it is magical. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. But I want to, okay, please go ahead.
Christine, I just wanted to add something on that Carol thing. You know, I just wanted people to understand that they could find their pain that they turn into purpose. But for my care health, if anybody calls, a client of mine calls, needing our services, panicking about the sickness of their parent or their loved ones, or any stage they're, I can tell you it's like I'm intuitive about it. I really understand, and I can give them a solution there and then because I've been through it. So I believe by starting care of, it was, for me, it's divine. It was a God thing that this company was born. Because if anybody calls or my clients and they're panicking, whatever stage they're going through with their elderly parent or their loved one or their sick, I really, really understand. And I'm like, now I also get it, why I went through the grief of losing both my parents. Because without having gone through that pain, I don't think I would start this company with the same depth that I did. That now I really understand the concept and I can empathize with everybody who calls through. That makes me very efficient, more effective, more understanding, everything, because you really understand what this person is going through. It's not about money. Yes, money is good when you say, but now when you understand, you're able to give them a better solution to their problem as they panic. Thank you, Christine, for allowing me to add that.
That is a beautiful one. That is a beautiful one. You are the right person in that sector. You're not there for money, but you're there for service and genuine service. I love that. Indeed. I love that. And I remember somebody here still under your submission about care health was asking, don't you get overwhelmed by people's demands while delivering the service? But I know as a professional, you know how to handle that. Yes, but the best thing is they do it passionately, with a lot of love, with a lot of experience and expertise, because he went through it practically. He knows what you are going through, not by design or by theory, but he has gone through it. Yes, coach.
Yes, Christina, I just wanted to comment on that overwhelming thing. And then I would like to answer it by saying, do you see how, if you're a parent, you're so exhausted with looking after your young one, but at the end of the day, you're so grateful that you have them. So that's the feeling I'm trying to tell you. Yes, you get overwhelmed sometimes, but there's a fulfillment in what I'm doing. That at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but oh God, it was worth it. Thank you for this gift. Thank you for this opportunity to help this other person. Yeah, I just wanted to add that. Thank you, Christy.
That's a good one, Coach Eddie. That's a very good one. I normally, being a woman, I normally give this example to women and mothers. It is painful to deliver a baby, very painful. But you're happy in it because at the end of the day, there is something that you're achieving. In the same way, I believe strongly this is what Coach Ed is trying to deliver. That yes, it overwhelms you. It can be very hectic and tiresome, but you're happy that you've supported the parent. You've supported this older person. That is the point. And yes, the stages that you talked about, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance, and so much more ahead. As we conclude, I want you to give us a hint, basically from your experience. How long do you think one can take in denial? Because, yes, we appreciate these stages, but there are people who remain at some stage for some good time. And somebody tells you that, up to now, I've never believed my dad passed on. How many years have passed? It's now over 10 years, but I don't believe my father passed on. Or someone is like, why did my father die? And this person is still asking this question, very angry, for over 10 years. So that's why I'm asking, to you, with your experience and expertise, how long do you think one can take at a certain stage before transitioning to another stage? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. If I gave you the timelines when it comes to grieving, I'll be denying. I'll be telling lies. Because people jump, some start with the first and go to the last and back again to the second. So sometimes it's a roller coaster. Yeah. You revisit them uniquely as you. There's no way you can say, I'm going to spend this time at this time. Because this is a feeling. This is something that has really broken in you. Yeah. And it can't be just mended overnight. So depending on how, once it breaks, this trauma, losing someone is like a parent is a trauma to your system, to your body, to your mind, to your soul, to everything. So you cannot know how long you're going to take from one stage to the other because, first of all, the denial stage is shock. And this shock comes because of this unbelief and too much pain. And you saw some people just buffer the pain. And by buffering, they can't believe it's real. And they are protecting the heart. Yeah? Oh, that's the way naturally the mind, the body was created to protect the heart. Because can you imagine if someone scares you and you jump up? Same thing with when you've lost someone. When they tell you that, it's a shock to the system, shock to the heart. But this denial stage depends on how bad you were shocked or how the information probably was delivered to you. Like in my case, it was the doctor who called. The same doctor who called the previous day at around 3 a.m. and saying, oh, your mom is improving. Now the next day at 3, they call me, she's gone. And I'm like, are you for real? You just told me the person is getting better. Now you're telling me within a space of a few hours that someone is gone. So we can never give timelines when it comes to grief. What I can tell people is just, you need to go through it. Don't hold it back. Don't do anything. Just, if you need to cry, cry. If you need to just go through it and vent and abuse and what, of course, don't abuse people. But if you need to shout in anger to anything, just go through it. That's the best way you can get full and total healing. If you don't go through it, it's still going to come back harder and more painful. Thank you, Christy.
Yes, you're saying that face it live, no matter what. And you're saying that there is no specific or particular time that one is expected to take at a certain stage. But Coach Eddie, yes, the beauty, the good thing you've said that denial normally happens at the beginning when you've just received the news. So you mean to say that you can always go back to denial after even some time? Anyway, you said that there's no way you can always go back to. You can go back to it even when you have taken some good time.
Yeah.
But then, what I've picked from your discussion, yes.
I was saying yes, you can, because you know that time where you can, after even a few years, you say, but that is still going back to deny. You're like, it's like starting all over again. You even know you buried it and like, did this person really go? Did this person die? It comes back. So that's why I say you keep on flipping and revisiting them uniquely. That's an interesting part about grief. Yeah, thank you, Christy.
Okay. So then, and you're saying that the best solution or the best thing to do, one can do, is to accept and go through. You face it, accept and go through it all. And I think, Coach, it is very good that you've shared with us all these stages. And I want to believe that it is very key and important that you understand these stages while grieving, to know at what stage you are and what you can do, where to run to. Like you said, you have many programs that can help. So it becomes easier for the person who is supporting you when you know the stage you are at. So it becomes easy for the other person to support you, to help you out. And I'm learning that it is very important that we learn and understand deeper these stages and accept everything as it happens, because death is normal. It happens, only that we can never get used to it. We keep missing our loved ones. Friends, it has been a very beautiful session. I still have many more questions for Coach Eddie, including this other one. I just want you to have it at hand, or if maybe you can share a little bit about it. What happens to those people that keep revisiting the grave of their loved one, of their parent, imagining that maybe by visiting where they buried, they can get over it, and instead it gets worse? I don't know, maybe sometime I'll make time and visit you, interact with you over that, or you've experienced it, but it's a very perturbing, perturbing issue. Yes. Okay, please.
I can try and answer that. You see, that is a way, that's one of the coping mechanisms people do, is to go to the grave and visit it. But they don't visit it, I don't think, with the sense that this person is going to come back. It's just like, personally, when I go there, I talk to them like they were alive. So maybe you can call me crazy, but I give them updates of my life, of the kids if I'm not with them. Like, that's my coping mechanism. And because I also grew up seeing my mother when she took us to visit, her parents when they've gone, when they passed on. She took us to visit their gravesite, and she used to do the same. Hey, I brought you the grandkids; they're doing well. As you clean them, yeah, you're just talking like that. But that's a coping mechanism, I think, for different people, and people do it differently. Few go there. I've had one incident I've been told about where this boy lost a parent. I think he was also not married. But he buys soda on his birthday and cake and goes and takes the cake and puts it on the grave and sits there and puts a bottle, one for the mother who passed on. And then he sits with the cake and cuts slices and eats his slices and wants to leave a piece for them. That's too much. I don't think I would do that. And if, again, the person who was saying this and think this guy is crazy or something, but probably he didn't pass through the stages and wasn't mentored. He wasn't guided. Probably doesn't have anyone to. Like I said, he's a single man. He grown up single man in his 50s. He never married. Probably doesn't have friends. Not very good. Doesn't have very good social, maybe social network. So this is the only person that he had in his life where he goes at that. That's why he's doing that crazy thing. And it's a Ugandan, by the way, not even a white person. He goes and sits on the grave on his birthday, cuts the cake, and they eat from it. So this is a coping mechanism for different people. And we cannot judge unless you've been through it. You don't know what it's going to do to you. Like I said, this is a crack. This is a trauma to the system. And you know, some people, when they lose trauma, some can even throw up, some cry, some are taken to Mtabika. Yeah? It depends on how strong you are from the beginning. So as we point fingers and judge, if you've not been through it, I please ask you, approach this in a very, very cautious way. If someone is acting crazy, just try and help them. Don't judge them. Thank you, Christy.
It is really, it is a session. What a session. I have more questions, but the time, my dear, I'm just accepting it. And before we leave the space, allow me shout out to our sponsors that have made it possible for us to have these sessions, because they are beautiful conversation and very important and necessary to attend. Yes, to Care Health Services, a non-medical healthcare company, the number one I believe in strongly. They are doing something that is very unique and yet very important and necessary. I encourage every Ugandan, whether you are in Uganda currently or you're outside Uganda, this is a company you really need to entrust with your loved one, your older person. Let them take care of him or her, just like, or even better than you would have done it. So that, yes, your parent is comfortable, is happy about the way they are being cared for. Yes, Carol, thank you so much for sponsoring Linkspace Career Academy. And then we have Lsoft IT Solutions. It's a company that is into website development, software development, computer and IT solutions provision. They also train individuals on how to be good in IT. Then we have Skill Africa Uganda, a company that is into skilling everyone at any level to make sure that you have a skill that is enabling you to earn more money and live a better life. Medref Healthcare Services, Bridge Space Advisory, CBM Brothers, ICT Innovation Hub Nakawa, Multitask Business Consultants. Yes, a company that is here to see that your business grows, thrives the best right way. A company that will tell you the truth about what you're running away from. A company that will help you and support you to face the reality about your business. Yes, we thank you so much. And to you, our audience, our listeners, even those that will listen in later, we want to appreciate you for choosing to learn with Linkspace Career Academy, for choosing to sacrifice your time and money for data so that you can learn with us. And we encourage you to keep the conversations running, keep interacting with us, follow us, like us, And just in case you have questions, please do not hesitate to come over online. We are ready to always answer you and make it better. And again, share with us constructive feedback so that we are able to serve you better, because we are here to stay to make sure that each one of us can live a fulfilling life and lifestyle. Yes, to you, our facilitator, we can't thank you enough. You're doing a great job. You're teaching us a lot. You're opening our eyes. Some of the things we've just heard them for the first time. Thank you so much for the great insights. Thank you for the knowledge, the wisdom that you're sharing with us. Yes, this may sound funny, but it is the truth. God made you go through what you went through so that we can benefit and learn how to navigate through. We thank God for your life and for all that you're doing. I'm giving it back to you, Coach, to give us a closing remark before we leave the space, not forgetting that LinkSpace Career Academy has a very beautiful program, the LinkSpace Quick Fizz, a program that supports parents and guardians to keep their children at school uninterrupted. Reach out to get this service. We know it's time for back to school. If you're stressed and you feel like you don't know what to do next, do not die alone. Do not stress alone. Get on board. We are here to help you to see your child stay at school. We can handle it. Let the child go back to school and we see how to handle it together for the child to get all access their education uninterrupted. Just imagine, even if you don't take your child the very reporting date, you will still pay the same school fees. Did you know that? If you say, okay, let me wait for at least 2 weeks, the competition for your child will be higher with the other ones that reported on time. Think about that. So, value for money is very key. Let us support our children to access the right education that we are paying for just in time. It may be inconveniencing, but please come over. We can dialogue and have the best to keep all the stakeholders just happy and in harmony. And to the teachers, the schools, the directors, it is very key and important that you have resources that can help you run your school just in time by providing the right services, giving the right resources to your staff, to your learners. So don't run mad. Don't get stressed because there's no money. Reach out and we see how best we can handle. We believe at LinkSpace Career Academy, we believe everything is possible because the Lord God that is into this is always available and is ready to support it to the next level. Always. Yes, I'm giving it back to our facilitator, Coach Eddie, to give us a closing remark, and we shall leave the space. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you to everyone who's listened. In conclusion, I can say that losing a parent doesn't just leave a wound. It leaves a doorway. In my case, 2 big doorways. Healing isn't about going back to who you were. It's about walking through those doorways with courage and turning your pain into purpose and letting your story become strength for someone else. Yeah. When you choose to grow through grief instead of being defined by it, you don't just survive loss. You transform into the most powerful chapter of your life. Christine and LinkSpace Academy, thank you so much for allowing me to just do that today. Good evening and bye to everyone.
Wow, thank you so much, Coach Eddie. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for the beautiful submission tonight. I know and believe strongly someone is touched. Someone has been answered. someone has been given a solution to proceed and move ahead. I believe strongly that all that we have learned, able to pass it over, we are able to support many people to see them live a better life. We thank you all. From me, the entire management of Linkspace Career Academy, the mentors, the coaches, the facilitators, the teachers, the counselors. Thank you so much. We are saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a beautiful night and the entire weekend. Let us meet on Monday under personal development. God bless you. Bye.